guys, welcome back to another video where today we are in Accurate Rainbow Friends RP. That's right, we're in Twisted's game to have a look at this cool little theory or evolution of Pink. And I'm joined with Quackers as the Papa Lookie and Nature as the Baby Lookie. And what the? Where did they go? But today we're going to start this off as I would think this would work. And I think you guys will probably agree at this point that this is actually a great way to start it off. So with the theory behind the Lookies, I like to think that is the first stage of what these creatures are before they evolve into how we see them. There's almost like a growing stage as such. So these little Lookies are actually like little babies, these cute, adorable babies that Red makes from all of his scientific experiments. And then at that point, they then transform. So to start this off, this lovely little journey, as we've got obviously these two over here, we need to become a Lookie. And with this Lookie, we need to become Pink. As you can see, it's so adorable. And obviously it's got this sound as well. But before I play the sound, we need to head into the Chapter 2 map. So now we've made it into the Chapter 2 map. This is where we first find these adorable little Lookies. That's right. On one of the hours, we end up having to catch 10 of them, bringing them back to here, which is like a little kind of pit for them. And then, yes, if you get all 10, we rescue the old man or Trent at the top of the drop tower. And if you don't, well, we get a firework display instead, which, to be honest, is a much cooler outcome because the old man still stays alive. He doesn't die. We are what I suspect to be the baby Pink. And they make these adorable sounds. How is that adorable? Why is it so cute? Oh, it just goes perfectly with them being like little babies ready to evolve into the next stage. Now, obviously, in the actual game, we know these are placed around the map, and you normally have the big Lookie sat here guarding the entrance to the Orange's Caverns caves. Or the Crystal Caves? Crystal Caverns, I think it's called. But the point being, we have to entice him away with sugar to get the cake made. And he does a roly-poly down the hill right to where it is, and off he goes. But this is obviously all canon. This is the stuff we know that's in the game. So obviously when that happens, we then escape, and then that's it. Trenton gets left behind. Red is left behind. We don't know what happens with them. This is Pink, and I do believe at the next stage, it actually jumps to something we have seen before, and that is actually in Chapter 1, but wasn't released in it. So what we're going to do is just quickly reset ourselves from this adorable little Pink Lookie and head down the extra characters, because what we actually have, other than the big mahoosive Lookie over here, we have got the unused character 2 and 1. Now, I don't know why it's got 2 and 2. They should be 1 and 2. Now, obviously, Yellow we have seen in the past. And yes, it's iconic because we found it early on with Chapter 1. And obviously with how Yellow is now, it's been transformed quite a bit. It looks nothing like this. So bear this in mind when we get to the last stage of Pink, because there is a reason behind it, and I do think you might agree with me when I say this, but let me know in the comments below. So for the next stage, we have that adorable little, tiny little Lookie. And then what it does is it actually goes over to here. Now, this is the plushie pack, and in fact, we have an adorable version of the little Pink that I want to show you beforehand. So let's just go in and grab it. So just like this, we are now the next stage of Pink. I mean, at this point in time, we've got that kind of concept idea from Chapter 1. And yes, this is like a smaller version, so I think it works really well as a transition up to the next step that we're going to head towards. Now, it does have a jump scare, and it'd be kind of rude if I didn't test the jump scare out, right? Let's just see how it sounds. Oh, it's so adorable. Why is it so adorable? It's like a little squeaker. This is perfect. It works so well from those adorable little Lookies up to this thing, and then just, it's too much. This is obviously, to me, the next step of how the Lookie evolves. And it does start to progress to something so much cooler. So coming back to the spawn, I can see Nature has become yellow. Look at him go. He's so happy. He wants popcorn. Oh, bro, you need to go to Pink's shop. Maybe Pink will be there as well. So what we want to do is head into this one just here, which unlocks this version of Pink that we have seen before. This one should look quite familiar. I know Twisted Dev, if you've followed him or seen any of his videos and screenshots, loves to do a Pink army. He started that quite late last year. Because of that, Pink has become quite well known and I think quite liked as well. I mean, personally, I really do quite like this version of Pink. So this ends up becoming quite a familiar face. Now, we have got two options on the right here. We've got a jump scare, obviously. I think we know what that one is. And we've got spits. I mean, I really want to check these out while with this character, because it's rude not to test these, right? All I need to do is find out. Wait, look at this. We've got someone that is our victim. He's looking around. We need to wait till he's not looking at us. And then maybe we can check out the spit to see if we can get his attention. So I'm going to just sneak our way just over here. And look at this. He looks to be looking the right way. So if I do this, hit the button. Whoa! That was like instant. I was just put hi. He doesn't seem to be afraid of Pink, which is a good sign, because that means if we decide to accidentally on purpose press the jump scare button, then oh dear, we may have eaten crackers. I'm so sorry, crackers. It was all part of the video. It's all part of it. It's all good because now Pink is full after having a nice roasted duck, and we are all good to continue to the next evolution. With that being said, the next evolution is a bit of a curveball. Now, by this, we saw how yellow looked before and in how yellow looks now. It's very, very different. So with this all in mind, this is Pink as we know it at the moment. And yes, we don't see it in Chapter 2 at all. There is another one we do see, and there are some definite similarities between this Pink and the next one it evolves into, in my opinion. You're probably going to say this probably doesn't work, but you need to hear me out. Honest. Hear me out. Let me see if you think in the same way I do. So what I need to do is to come away from Pink, reset, and become the next character, which I will see you in a second. So we're back, and I am the character, which is the final morph of what I believe is Pink. Now, what we've got in front of us is Pink, the original shape. I need you guys to take this into consideration. So, we have a thin body, we have 2 legs, we have no arms, and we've got quite a wide mouth. The eyes are quite high up, but certain things can change, right? Most of it is going to look very similar to this, but some of it will change a little bit drastically. So I'm going to reveal what the final evolution of Pink, in my opinion, is, and why we've only got one of this color, more importantly. So 3, 2, 1, boom. So this, you may or may not have thought, yes, this could work, or no, it couldn't. But like I say, hear me out. The similarities that we have between this cyan and Pink are quite a few to just ignore. So the similarities you can see here are the wide mouth and the long skinny body, and obviously the 2 legs, which are quite thin, which are similar to Cyan's. The eyes have been relocated, and Cyan obviously has a tail. It's kind of developed more into a dinosaur. Now I know that rhymes, but hear me out. I think personally, this is why we don't see Pink and why Cyan is a brand new color. So personally, I think this is the new Pink for Chapter 2, and it's actually Cyan, and Cyan will probably be in the next chapter, and Pink, yeah, I don't think we're going to see it. It's like with Purple. Purple is still underneath the floor with only arms, and we know it's got a head with some big eyes, big sharp teeth, very similar to what we see in some of the concept morphs in the other Rainbow Friends games, which are so awesome. With this one so far, I do believe this is the one we are looking at. But anyway, I think this is the perfect time to head over to theory time. So for the first theory, we've gone by this user here, and they say, theory for Chapter 3. Chapter 2 ends at an elevator that leads to the surface, but since the place was abandoned, the power level would be pretty low, so the elevator wouldn't have the ability to go up all of the way. Then the elevator with everyone inside will crash, causing everyone to go unconscious. Red will drag all of them to a certain place that only staff can enter. So this is actually quite a cool and interesting theory, because you're right, once we get to this spot here, we end up at the elevator saying to surface. Now, I like to think that this, when you go into it, takes you up to like a big theater or a big auditorium room where you're going to get this light show that we have been promised and not received. If this has been shut down for a little while, although the Ferris wheel and all the other rides that are here are currently working, if there is low power for this elevator and it can't make it all the way to the top, but there is more than one step on this elevator, then yes, you're right. We'll probably end up only halfway up, and then we'll get taken by Red who then decides to make us do a disappear for the next chapter. I like this theory. So for the next theory, we go on by this user here, and they say, what if Red wanted animatronics before he made the Rainbow Friends? Literally just in this room here, we have got what looks like a scrap room with some old animatronics that were templates or maybe testers before we have the original Rainbow Friends as we know it, like this blue here that's just in the corner. So yeah, you could be right. These could be like a trial or a test run to see how they act or how he can create them and make them work. I like this theory. So for our final theory, we've got one by this user here, and they say red and green, blue and orange, purple and yellow are all opposites on the color wheel. And in Rainbow Friends, red is like all eyes, green is blind, blue is big and slow, at least in chapter 1, and orange is fast and small. Purple is always in the vents, which might be considered down, and yellow goes up into the sky when they catch you. But cyan doesn't have an opposite yet, and seeing as the opposite of cyan is the red color, it could be pink. I have two ideas on what pink could be the opposite of cyan in how you escape from them, and something about their design, which is much more likely but less fun. How you could escape from them is by moving around, and in pink would go towards a player if they are still in their box. So basically getting rid of the ability to go AFK. If their design is different, I don't know what it would be, but it could be heavily focused on the arms. So this is actually a long theory, but I like how much detail you have put into this. So with this being the case, I like the idea you're saying about the color spectrum on the wheels being the opposite colors, but the one we don't have is obviously for cyan. And with that being said, cyan and yellow are both introduced into chapter 2, but like you say, yellow has an opposite color, which you're saying is potentially purple, which is, I mean, in this chapter, underground. So it is down, and yellow, as you say, catches you and takes you up. So they're the opposite on that front. But with the pink and cyan thing that we have obviously had a look at in the video today, and what you're suggesting, I obviously think that they could potentially end up being the same creature but just remorphed and a different color. But I like the idea about what you mentioned about how the opposite could be from cyan. So for pink, effectively, we would be looking at that even if you're in a box and you're moving, it would actually pick up on that you've moved and it will just chase you and grab you. That's the opposite of blue, because as long as you can hide in a box before he sees you get into it, you can tiptoe around quite happily without him ever catching you. So this gives you the opportunity to get away quite easily. But with what you're saying, which I quite like, as in with pink, that when you are in a box and you move, and you're obviously seen moving around, well, you've got little to no chance to escape. Basically, pink has found you and you're done for. Have a look at it yourself and let me know what you guys think too. I absolutely love this theory. But that's where I'm going to end the video today, guys. If you liked it, remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's super appreciated. And we will catch you in the next video. Remember to boot the snoot. Bye!